welcome to Natural Healing Center. We're here at 1601 Dove in Newport Beach, right by the John Wayne Airport, and we're here to discuss Candida. And you might as well say yeast, fungus, mold, because even though they're different, we treat them in the same way because they're super dangerous and super horrible if you don't know how to get rid of it. I love getting rid of it because I can't stand the way it feels. Most people have had one once in their life, but anybody who has a bad stomach, a lot of times will have some yeast or fungus or candida, however you want to say it, because if you don't have a stomach acid that's strong, then your stomach acid doesn't kill the microbials. So all of those are microbials that grow and bloat you. And we never know what's underneath them. What causes them can be different things. What causes the stomach to not be strong? Metal toxicity, a bad argument, a bad relationship, a bad car with fumes coming out of it. You work in a hospital with chlorine bleach everywhere. Bleach is enough to make anyone crazy. It can burn out your your lung hairs, let's say it that way. So everyone, I love babies because they always go, oh, whew. They get away from bad things. We can talk about, we want to really give the idea of yeast being dangerous because they have roots that sit on your intestines and bore into your intestines. If these were your intestines, it could bore holes into your intestines. And then when you eat a sugar, a fruit, rice, a carbohydrate that turns into sugar, it can blow these guys up. So those guys leave their root in you and they're mushrooming up on your intestines and making bigger and bigger holes. And that makes your belly bloat. And then once your belly bloats, your brain's bloated, every cell in your body is bloated. It's dangerous. Not everybody knows how to deal with yeast because it used to not be mainstream. It used to not be a mainstream problem. It used to be something that people didn't talk about. They were embarrassed about it. But now, a yeast is something that's so common. It's so common, and I don't know if it's because of the bad foods or because we have so much more pollution in the world, but it just is. Candida fungus is an epidemic now. I see a lot of people. At one point this year, I would say 40% of our clients had yeast. And it's always after, what can you guess what time of the year I have people with yeast? Holidays, that's exactly right. I was thinking Easter, Halloween, Christmas, because people that never give in to dessert or never would have a little candy, they'll have 3 and they never have 1. But then they'll have 3 and the next day they'll have 3 and the next day they'll have 3, especially Halloween. Halloween people admit, I go, well, have you had any sugar? They look the other way. They don't eat sugar. I'm like, oh, did you have a little Halloween candy? Yes, I had a bag. And then I had another bag. What happened? Well, I bought the bag early, and then I ate it. So they might have 3 bags of candies before Halloween, or between the month of Halloween. And it just sugar feeds Candida, and it's called a Candida overgrowth. And what you want to know is Candida is normal at a small amount in your intestines. There's good yeast, there's bad yeast, and it's an overgrowth of the bad yeast. There's the whole truth of the matter. It's an overgrowth. And if you have a metal toxicity, that would be a great reason why to have a problem, because parasites eat the metal and then they poop fungus, virus, bacteria. That's another discussion altogether, but that could be a reason why too, why we have them. In our office, we do deal with Candida, and we're happy to say we have a lot of success with it. And of course I give all the glory to God that anyone comes and gets healed. But it's interesting because there are certain things that need to be lined up, and we'll talk about that in a second to heal. That brings us to natural healing is what we do. We use all organic products made on a farm, And I love that. We have herbals, we have food pellets, we have homeopathics. The homeopathics aren't made on a farm, but most of my products are made on a farm. The idea, why do I use natural products? Because natural products go with our body. Our body recognizes foods. Our bodies recognize foods and it knows what to do. If we give the body something it recognizes, it goes right to work. If you give the body something it doesn't recognize, your body's like, I just don't know about that. Sometimes people are blocked or switched and then they can't heal. So we can find out by doing nutrition response testing if you're able to heal or not. A lot of people have reoccurring infections because they're not healing at all and they don't know what foods make them weak. So I love it when people go off certain foods and get well. I do. I love going off certain foods and getting well. I was sick for a long time. And then I realized that I didn't know anything about foods. I just knew that those foods didn't make me feel well. So you think, that's not really true. I just ate that croissant and I don't feel well. I must be coming down with a cold. You don't realize that you might have a food allergy to what you just put in your mouth. We just immediately go, whoop, I have the flu or I have a cold. The truth is what we just ate might be bringing us down and making us sick or give us flu-like symptoms. True. So nutrition response testing brings and shows we can see vitamin deficiencies and poor digestion. What is a vitamin deficiency? It just means you're deficient, you don't have the vitamins. In 1920, the government said our soil was depleted. That's way before most of us were ever born, for sure. So our soil has to be treated well. And on this farm, they do cover crops to keep the nutrients in the soil. They burn the weeds in instead of picking it. They're neurotic about their foods, and I love them. If you're going to take foods from somewhere, you want them neurotic, clean, and ethical. That's what these guys do. And their efficacy, their efficiency goes way up. And I like it. And I like it that this is a girl-run farmer. It's run by a farmer girl. The people that own it hired a specialist and her husband to run the farm. And so it's like from a girl boss to girl boss. I also love Christine. She's just, as a business person, she had the farm running with 120, brought it down to like, what, 8 people? Anyway, that's a side note. You don't have to take notes on that. But it's nice to know where your food pills are coming from. So now, the understanding nutrition deficiency, it's not hard to understand if you think about the food being grown in fields that don't have proper nourishment. If it's not organic whole food nourishment going into the soil, how do you get a whole food organic food out of it? You don't. Organic just means no pesticides, but it also means they can't put any chemicals in the fertilizer. They can't give you anything from a cow because they ate genetically modified things probably. So everything has to be organic from the ground up. So that tells you that we have decent things to help you with, things your body recognizes. And then yeast can cause rashes. Yeast can cause rashes, red spots. Sometimes yeast can cause eczema, red eyes, flu-like symptoms with your nose running, phlegm. Oh my gosh. Sorry, but it's true. Phlegm, it's disgusting the amount of phlegm that yeast can have. Especially, you think about a guy who likes to drink beer and they snore. Well, the beer is probably the overgrowth of yeast. Because I love it when guys just say, whoa, you look like you're having a baby. And the next time you say to a guy they're having a baby, guys tease each other, right? And the next time you see him, where'd your baby go? I just didn't drink beer for 3 weeks. I'm just fine, thank you. That's a guy. Girls are not so simple, And if you're eating bread every day, it's almost impossible these days to get rid of a yeast infection by just going off bread and beer. That's true. Usually you have to kill it. A gentle killing is mint tea. A thorough cleansing and rebuilding of the guts is just about 5 weeks of work. And when you have yeast, what happens is in your guts, Your guts are supposed to be straight, and your food comes through your guts, and it goes through all of your intestines, and then it comes out. But what happens is that those holes, remember the microscopic holes? Well, the holes in your intestines, if you eat too much and you swell, this is disgusting. The poopy goes into your blood and makes food, undigested food particles in your blood, autoimmune disease. So when you eat that food again, because it's going straight through your intestines, the next time you see that food, your body's like, that's a problem. That food's in the blood. Choo, choo. And then it swells going after the food. It's a nightmare inside. But let me tell you the easy thing to know is that you can take the holes in your guts from the yeast by killing the yeast and sealing up the holes with dermatrophin, basically, one of the little food pills from a farm to heal your skin. Then you heal the guts up, and that takes approximately 5 to 7 weeks. If you're if you catch Candida in the bud, you nip it in the bud, usually it takes at the most 5 weeks to take care of. 3 weeks of yeast killing and maybe 2 weeks of sealing up the guts. So you can look forward to feeling well, and your brain can be well. Your stomach can be well. You can be svelte. You can be just as strong as ever 5 weeks to 6 weeks later. If you make a problem, if you forget and you start popping bonbons, just add 2 weeks. Oh, I'm off bonbons, I forgot. I feel like I'm gonna die. Okay, have some mint tea, be careful. Don't go to the hospital. They won't know about the inflammation, why it is. They'll try to cut out your gallbladder maybe. Because I've seen 3 people eat tortillas, and corn tortillas have 500 times more sugar than sugar, and I've had 3 people go to the hospital and lose their gallbladder for no reason other than they're swelling. Well, they can't cut out your eyes, so yeah, that's the truth. So we're on to the how do you kill it. We have ways of killing it, but I have to double test your body, so it comes to nutrition response testing. That's what I do. So I can read your body. We have test kits, and your body will recognize bacteria. I love the fact you can see between bacteria and virus. Is it a cold or a flu? You can find out in 5 minutes here. But Candida, then we have to see what can kill the Candida. We have a homeopathic, we have an herb formula, we have a lot of different things can kill it. And so we want to kill it and not feed it. What does it look like? We already went over the rashing, the bloating, the headaches. I didn't say headaches. Headaches, if you have a Candida really bad, your hair falls out. And then
Dandruff.
Dandruff, dry skin, psoriasis, athlete's foot, jock itch, anything that underneath the boobies. Some people have under the boobies a rash that doesn't go away.
Toenail fungus.
Oh, toenail fungus. Yeah, that's common. You see people with fungus on their nails, and some people get it from a salon that something happened bad, I don't know. But sometimes it's as easy as this. They might clip your nails, and then you don't know how to put colloidal silver on it, and then you go home and you get a little infection. The infection goes deep, and if it doesn't get taken care of with soaking it in Epsom salt, colloidal silver, and take care of it that way, it can become a fungus too. Bacteria, fungus, nasty. So, I'm here for some good news. Are you ready? You don't have to have it. You don't have to have any of it. There is a nice, simple, proven way to kill it. And if you could have it done in 1 month, would you have it done in 1 month? Yes. Right. And that's just like anything else that comes here. But other diseases people know about. Everyone knows a cold, the flu-like symptoms. But that doesn't make your hair fall out. Yeast can make you go bald. If somebody has a mold in their house and they breathe that mold into their lungs, and it gives you a nervous system, it starts to have, looks like you're on crack. You have pus that's coming out your face. You look like an acne girl going bald. You have rashes all over, pimples coming out all over, and you look like a crackhead. But it's just the mold in your wall you didn't know about. So sad. So you get out of the mold. You step away from the bad place. You never want to breathe any mold. You see black mold, you tell someone to come right away. If it's a rental place and they don't do it, it's a housing hazard. they could be arrested if they don't fix it. That's what I've been told. But I just know that they could be sued for it. That's another story. But the idea is how to get rid of it. Stop feeding it, starve it, kill it, seal up the holes. Done. Come here, we'll show them what it looks like to do nutrition response testing. I'm going to use Renee's arm to have her body tell me, is it strong or is it not? Okay, so can you hold your arm? Yes. She's able to. Now, does the arm work? You watch it lock and drop. Excellent, man. Hand on your belly button. That means she's open for healing. Peek and thumb. Perfect. Perfect. Now, I'm going to go look at her guts. She doesn't have it. Does anybody here think they have yeast? You do? Okay, you come here then. Thank you for showing them. Let's go look. Hey, Renee, want to grab some HVS, Spongex, dermatrophin? Okay, come here. Hold your arm gently. I'll tell you everything how to do it. You don't just hold your arm up to start. Oh, whoop, hold your arm up. Okay, first sign of yeast. Okay, now we're going to check your intestines. Good. Your arm goes down. So you think you have yeast. That's good. Now I'm going to do pink and thumb. Okay, pink and thumb on this side. Right? And this looks like it might be. So we're going to hold your arm up here. We're going to test this. You're right. You do. So now we're going to test your body and see what you want first. Hold this. Oh, I'm going to have you just hold it like that and see if it goes. You're going to hold that. You don't like that one, so we're going to let go of that one. Thank you, ma'am. So I better let you hold that for a second. So here we're going to go. We're going to go to your belly button, and it's, where's your belly button? There it is. Oh, perfect. And then this is what you're doing for the yeast. Oh, notice her arm stays nice and strong. Notice her finger is not going to go down. This is how we're going to kill her yeast. This is it. So I'm going to ask her if she would like to have this. Oh, you have to keep your arm strong. Okay. She does not have to have, this is beautiful. She already has that, so we're going to let go of that, and we're going to take her dermatrophin. So I'm going to put this dermatrophin right up here. And that is beautiful, nice and strong all the way around, So just so you know what I'm doing, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to hand it right to Renee. I'm going to go down her, so her guts have it, her guts have it, her guts have it. But right here, we're going to ask, is this the priority? Yes. Come here, dermatrophin. This kills the yeast. This seals the holes. Now, we're going to see if there's anything else. Will it help this? Yes, it will. Do you have some on your toes too? No. Okay, good. Hold your arm. We're going to double check everything just for a quick, fast run through. Usually, I'm just checking not everything, but just to make sure that the basics are covered. I go a little more thoroughly when you come in. And I want to ask your skin. Oh, your arm goes down. That means you have scars. So we're going to ask if her body can take care of the scars on the skin. Yes, it can. That's important. Now, do you need a little stomach support? Yes. All right. A little stomach support. Okay, that does make it stronger. Can you feel that? Okay, we're going to hand this because I want to make sure you can feel it because they can see it. So here I go and I touch your stomach and it goes, oh, I'm not so happy. They're trying to kill me in here. The yeast are after me. All right, and then we're going to put some Zypan on there that's going to strengthen your stomach acid and give them what they need to fight off the yeast. And then they become strong. Isn't that great? Right? See, that's amazing, right? So we know what to give you. So we just tested your body. We let it go shopping, and it shows it didn't like one thing, but it liked everything else. We offered it. So now you know I can help you, right? Ta-da! Well, there you saw it, everybody. That's what it looks like when you get tested for yeast. Here, the names have been changed to protect the innocent, but the usual things that we use, we always shop for your body to see what you want. Each person's different. Even though a lot of people have yeast, it's not always the same reason. So I get to see your body one layer at a time. Today we saw a little nail and we saw some guts, right? So nice for you, you don't have a lot of rashes and everything, but your scars might be the reason because you have a lot of scars, right? So I heard you guys laughing. It's so sweet. So your body asks, you prioritized your skin, but that could also be your skin. So we teach people how to rub their scars. I wrote a book on it just in case you think I'm talking for nothing. I really am serious about it. It's called The Truth About Scars and Roadblocks to Healing. Because scars can actually make you not heal. There's a Chinese medicine chart of some kind right here. It shows the lines going up and down. They're supposed to go up and down, but when you have a scar, it cuts the motherboard. And instead of soldering it, you just rub out your scars and then the electricity goes up and down again. We have some gels and liquids that will also deactivate your scars if you don't want to do it the old-fashioned way. But either way, you have to deal with your scars because it's your largest organ. You can see that if you nick an organ on the inside, you're going to bleed out. So your nervous system thinks, oh my gosh, we're going to bleed out on the outside. The nervous system hasn't been told that the skin's okay. It's not okay. So there you go. Scars, book, Candida, healing, Natural Healing Center. Ta-da, ta-da-ta-da-ta-da-ta. Questions? Questions, anybody? Oh, think about it just for a second. I know, it's kind of like on the under pressure. Oh yeah?
I wonder if the sugar is promote the Candida comeback.
Winner, 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 winner! How do you feed Candida? With sugar, with bread, cheese. But sugar is the number one way to feed Candida.
Yeah, I
Number one.
You asked it.
Because well, how do you make a bread rise?
Yeast.
And sugar. Yeah, so that's how you can eat candy and bloat. If you get bloated, that's how you know you have yeast. Is if you eat a fruit, you're being good, you eat a little fruit and you're like, why am I bloated tonight? There are some people that keep themselves really skinny and let's say they get a cut and that cut stresses them out enough to give them a stomach acid that's not strong anymore. And then their stomach acid isn't strong, the yeast starts to grow, the overgrowth of the bad stuff. So then they come in, I teach them how to take care of the cut and I help them kill the yeast. But the sugar feeds it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's peas or fruits, it will feed it crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you put sugar scrub on you, it'll feed it. It'll go through your skin.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the measuring factor to recurring.
That's a reoccurring. Yes, you have to stay off sugar. You have to heal the guts up. It takes, I think 7 weeks is normal. But if you have a lifetime, I've had people in here that have had 40 years. Oh, let's see, they were that old. They weren't that old. Let's say 20 years, maybe 40. They had it since they were kids. And by the grace of God, they healed up in a regular month. I couldn't believe it. But that's how God is for me. Yeah, but they went off sugar. They go off a lot of different foods. Yeah.
Sugar is the most difficult to get rid of.
Sugar is the most difficult to get rid of because our bodies run on sugar. So if you eat sugar, your brain is happy, but your feet are not. From here down. Your brain is happy and the rest of you suffers. Because it will turn a red blood cell that's just supposed to be a happy red blood cell like this into a bottle cap. Because it beats the red blood cell. It wants in, but it can't get in. If it's man-made sugar, it does not feed your cells. It beats them, and then you have bruised cells. And you don't even get the food. It's empty calories. No nutrition, and you are seeing a lot of people suffer with nutrition. They suffer because they eat so much sugar, they're not getting any nutrition.
No, I see.
So let's just say you start off with 4 o'clock, I'm going to have like tea time. In the old days, tea time used to be tea and crumpets. Well, then dinner wasn't till 9 because you're not even hungry again for 5 more hours. Right? That's crazy to wait for your blood sugar to come down. So a normal snack at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and my snack would be celery and almond butter. Raw almond butter we love raw almond butter from Trader Joe's. We love it. It's good for you, it's raw, it's almond butter. And on celery, and I make seed crackers that don't taste like much unless you put something good on them. But, you know, if you're hungry, it'll work. So I like celery. I love vegetables. Yeah, I'm creative with the vegetable story, but you're right, sugar's the worst. If you stay off sugar, your body will learn how to remake the food into sugar. I ask people, did you guys know, just raise your hands, did you know that if you eat meat and vegetables that your body turns it into sugar? I did not know that before I studied.
So
Meat
and vegetables, that's a staple.
Your body will make your food into sugar to fix your brain. So the idea is to eat often enough to where your brain doesn't have to get sugar. It's not going to crave candy if it has constant fats, because the brain likes fat. So we like avocado, we like olive oil on our salad, right? It's interesting. It's an old-fashioned way of eating, but it works so great. Yeah. Okay, now we've unearthed a lot of things. Anybody ready to start right now? You want to get healed right now? Should we have Renee come give an offer? Come here, Renee. Renee, yay!
So yes, anybody who is not already our client, and if you want to get healing, we do have a special offer tonight. So normally our initial consultation is $250, and what we're doing is anybody that attends the workshop on Facebook or in person, you get $50 off the initial consultation, so it would be $200 as opposed to $250.
What? They saved $50?
That's right. Save $250. So I encourage you, if you want to get healing, especially with yeast, because oftentimes when people go to the doctors, like an allopathic doctor, and they present with yeast, if they even find that, then they will handle it through antibiotics, which is the worst thing they could be treating it with, because then now you're killing your good bacteria as well. So now it'll come off, and that's why people tend to get, especially women, get yeast infections, and they just keep coming back. Or if you ever noticed, if you've taken a round of antibiotics, usually you'll get some sort of a yeast infection of some sort after the fact. So that's a big cause of
And you're right, because doctors do prescribe people to have yogurt now on the last day of antibiotic. But if the yogurt has got sugar in it, then it's not gonna, might not be strong enough to reestablish your bowel flora after, because your bowel flora takes, some people say 3 to 6 months. I used to think it was 3 weeks. But to rebuild your, now they call it a biome, just call it your internal, everything that the antibiotics rip apart, it takes a long time to lay it down to where it works well again, you know?
Exactly.
Oh, thank you for the deal, Renee.
And then also on each of your chairs we placed a worksheet, and it's just
Oh, you have
give
it.
us a little bit more
Good.
information in
I'm
terms
so
of
happy.
what other topics you'd
This
like
one.
to hear.
It's your
And so if you want to just pass those in, we appreciate it. Any other
You have to write
questions?
down your phone number so we can call you.
Or concerns?
I want to know about like dandruff. That's the reason I'm here. That's the
She wants to know about dandruff. I'm going to
Dandruff
tell everybody.
and inflammation.
So the dandruff and inflammation can be caused by yeast, Candida, mold. It can also be caused by foods that just make you swell. But dandruff usually includes heat. So something that you're eating that's hot. If you're eating too much kimchi, what do I like? I like kimchi, but I can't have it because it makes me hot. And it makes my skin red. And then I start talking like this every time I talk. Not pretty.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah.
So I think about the foods.
The foods that are hot, so hot tamales. But hair falling out, it's very special to have hair falling out. But you're just talking dandruff. Yeah, it could just be hot sauce. It could be a food that you don't like. And dandruff could just be a lack of fats, olive oil, sea salt, avocados. No. Oh, then you better get tested. Wait, you just did.
I did.
So you know what the problem is. Yeah, that yeast can cause the dandruff. The yeast definitely causes swelling. You can feel it in your rings. You can feel it in your toes. When you swell in your fingers, every cell in you you're swollen. So you might have been swollen for so long you don't even realize you're swollen. That's okay. That's all right. But dandruff and swelling can be coming definitely from yeast. Yeah.
Okay.
What else?
Yeah, if there's anything you want to know, even if it's not on the subject of Candida, now's your opportunity. You can ask any questions, and Shannon would be happy to answer them for
It's
you.
open forum now at the Natural Healing Center. Come on.
Okay, I have one then.
Good.
About the topic of like spiciness and I guess like
Yeah,
hot
heat.
things.
Yes.
I was always like, or I guess I was told or learned that people would say it's good for your immunity and like blood.
Sure. Blood
circulation.
cleansing. Sure.
Yeah. So what are there some that are better than others, or some you should just like?
Well, most people that come here don't feel well.
Yeah.
I love to tell anyone I meet, they're always coming up to me in public because their friend told them to talk to me. They're the picture of health. I'm like, don't change anything. You don't have any problems. They strengthen their body by having a little Tabasco. It makes them run faster. I do not care. I love people. I'm like, don't talk to me. You know, I'm only if you have something like my little toe's been hurting for 5 years and I just can't make it stop. I'm like, that's serious. That's a bladder meridian that could be a scar on your ear. All you have to do is rub up here and the pain goes away. But the heat, if around here we have the freeways. We are in Orange County and we have freeways that are under attack from 2 o'clock on. And you have to have your battlefield on when you get on the freeway. All eyes on deck, right? It's just amazing. So that is not the time to have any stimulants in your system. I think if you're going to have stimulants in your system like a little hot sauce, if you have any adrenal dysfunction, no. You sweat too much, no. Anything that's a stimulant, the heat's going to stimulate it. If you're not sleeping, no. But for the normal person, they go to bed. Let's say they go to bed from 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, 11 to 7. They're sleeping and they're having as much hot sauce as they want. They have no stomach ache. They have no backache. They have nothing wrong. I say don't worry. But when it comes to anyone talking as fast as I do, no. And no. That's no caffeine, no, I don't need any stimulants. But if I do have them, I will think to myself, am I sleeping okay? And if I have too much, I'll wake up at the nighttime. You know, you wake up between when you go to sleep and when you wake up, you're supposed to sleep all the way through. But if you don't sleep all the way through, ask yourself, do I have caffeine? Do I have some hot sauce? Am I eating too much carbs? You know, am I eating enough food? Sometimes people wake up because they're hungry. They're just starving and they don't know it. It's strange because I don't want to eat too much before I go to sleep because, you know, I want to keep my figure. How many times do you wake up at night? 3. You know, we burn as many calories sleeping as we have a chance to burn a lot of calories sleeping. But if you don't eat, your body shuts down the calorie burning. And then you won't sleep and your body's like, oh, I need to go to the refrigerator now. I'm like, go to bed. No, refrigerator, no. I mean, you have this internal, I wake up and I drink a lot of water. I think I'm just thirsty. Okay, so I had something that was too much carbohydrate. I'm thirsty. If I wake up a second time and drink water, I'm like, I'm sorry, Mr. Body, I didn't eat enough. Miss Body. Yeah. So that's how you can learn. Because I know Chinese medicine, I just go that way. But it makes a lot of sense. One night, I had a friend come over and we commiserated about her boyfriend like for hours. And I brought out a thing of cheese and we ate the whole thing of cheese. Big, beautiful goat cheese in the middle of the night. I lost 3 pounds. From the time I went to bed to the time I woke up. How's that possible? Because I breathed out the water from starving. My body was starving and holding on to everything. And I just burnt it off in the night because I ate all that fat and my body was so happy. Yes, I like to eat now. It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't worry about my weight anymore. I think, oh, obviously I need to eat more. All right. Yes.
Well, what about stress? You know, there's
Fattening. Stress is fattening.
Right.
You want to know how stress affects you? Sleep 12 hours a day for 3 days straight. No, you'll lose so much weight. You will. I accidentally found out this year. I accidentally did. I wanted to stop working out and just save all my energy for the move. 10 days, I lost 10 pounds. I never lost 10 pounds in 10 days in my life.
So just sleep.
Sleep.
How can you eat when you're sleeping?
Well, because you eat 3 meals a day and you're done eating usually by 7 or 8 or 9, right? So I'd be done and I'd go to bed by 9:30. And I'd sleep in till 8. Because usually I sleep,
Okay.
11 to 7, 12 to 8,
Yeah,
right?
no,
I
okay.
just went to bed a couple hours early.
Mhm.
That's it. I'm like, that's it. Go to bed. We've got a big move coming up. I was really anxious about not anxious, but I was making myself get to bed because I've got to save my energy.
Right, right.
Who knew? The cortisol levels go down. That was my big win for the year. Sleep. Cortisol levels down. Cortisol's fattening.
I get it.
Yeah.
All right, and now you mentioned allopathic medicine.
Yeah.
What kind of medicine is this?
Naturopathic.
Oh, right, okay.
Some people call it alternative medicine, but it's a natural path.
But there's different kinds, like
Yeah.
they're from India or from China. and
Yeah. So in my mind, I do Chinese medicine, and that's the way I analyze people.
Okay.
But it's very similar to the Indian way. I love that. We're very similar. So yeah, there's a systems around the world that do it.
Because heat, they measure how hot both measure how hot your body is.
Oh, they're the same. I really believe that they're the same. They're just using different words.
Okay.
So the analysis is there's a slightly few things, but they have different body types like Pitta. I only have a general Chinese medicine, and I never learned about different body types. But I'm not an acupuncturist. I have the equivalent of a 2-year education, so you need 4 years to be a doctor in Chinese medicine. But as a naturopath, you have a general education. I studied it and then went to China, so I had 2 semester acupressure 1 and acupressure 2. What's the science of acupuncture? I went to China to a hospital to study with them, and my life changed because I thought it really does work. You always want, does it really work? People are like, I was raised fooey. It's all just hooey and fooey. Forget it. Don't talk to anyone like that. Don't even talk to people like that. They probably just wave crystals in the air, and you're like, not going there. I'm Christian, right? So I was led to Chinese medicine. I was led. And I'm glad I was, because I really love that I got to go to China and see that it works. It really does work. There's worlds of medicine that never knew anything about. I mean, if you need surgery, we have the best in Orange County. If you need surgery, sorry, Greg, it might be Rush. My nephew-in-law, my nephew, and my niece he actually got a job at Rush because he's a surgeon specialist. When you need a surgeon, you need someone to put you back together. They'll put the screws in. It's just beautiful. But preventative medicine, an ounce of cure is worth a pound of what?
Prevention.
Roger. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yeah.
So there you go. Does that make sense? All
Okay,
right.
the other, this is really specific. It's like histamine.
Histamines means swelling.
Yes.
That sounds like that. So as soon as you have histamines, they're swelling. And once you can't breathe through your nose, your eyes are swollen,
Right.
your sinuses are swollen shut. It's all shut. Now, imagine that on your organs in the inside. So that's what happens with yeast, is they call it a histamine reaction. Every disease is a histamine reaction. And I don't know if that's really a true statement, but I know every disease starts with inflammation. So, yes, when they say antihistamine, I think Antranex, Albizia, I have all natural things made on a farm. But the histamines need to be, just take the food out that causes the histamines. You stop eating things that swell you within 3 weeks. It's a beautiful thing. I just invite you to try it.
You just have to eliminate certain foods and see what happens.
Well, just to get rid of histamines, you eliminate the foods, but to kill the fungus from making, the fungus could do this to you too. You need to kill the fungus and seal the holes up. Because it makes a leaky gut. And anything you eat, if you have a leaky gut, anything can become a histamine reaction. If you eat too much, then the poopy goes into the blood. I should say the feces go into the blood. But, yeah. The bowel system. Okay, any questions? I think we've done. Thanks everybody on Facebook. Thanks. We love you.